Well, here we are.
On the final chapter.
Yes, this is the final chapter.
Yeah. And it is also episode 35.
It's the piece de resistance.
It is.
I don't know what that is.
That's a piece that you can resist, Hans. Welcome to episode 35 of the Nethergreen podcast. Here in our new studio, in Hector's lovely little studio.
Yeah.
We're not recording or live streaming it right now. We are recording it.
Yeah, we can do
the eventual plan. Leander said so. The eventual plan, Leander, is that we'll get some cameras and we'll live stream on Twitch in order to build the audience.
Oh, I see.
And we'll also have a second microphone, so we don't have to
Yes.
huddle round here. So they'll be like, I'll need to figure out how the
in case of a guest, we might even need 3 microphones.
yeah. I don't know how the rig for that is going to work. I'll need to consider how that's.
I'd say if you keep that there, and then you could maybe if you get one that has a log, you could put it maybe you could try and fit it behind the chair or something, and then it can lean over you, and you could talk into it like that.
Or potentially just have one of these over by the chair, which is where Bradley is sat, and have one of them over
these
here,
being
which
the
will come over the desk.
Yeah, and it's also it's a different microphone to the one we usually use. We tried to use this once, and it was in a terrible room, so it sounded terrible. So hopefully, it sounds better.
Hopefully, I think now, it's nowhere near as echoey as my last room. Yeah.
But this is season 3, episode 1. We did it, guys.
Yeah. Season 3.
Yeah.
Wait, there was already a season 2.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, season 2 was after we took that 6 months break, and then we stopped again for another year.
I see.
That was season 2. Season 2 was the Dan arc.
I see, the Dan arc.
Yeah, so when Dan started joining regularly, it began a new season.
Okay, I guess this is a perfect segue into the new season because we are now actually in the new studio. Yeah.
And all good seasons take It's Always Sunny, for example. Season 6 looks like sweet. Season 5 looks like shit, and then suddenly season 6 is in HD. Yeah. Widescreen, everything's beautiful. Yeah. You know? That's exactly what's happening here. We're now in HD.
Yeah.
This is HD audio.
Hopefully the microphone is okay. It should, in theory.
If it's not, I'll figure it out. I'll hear it. Maybe this episode will be one of our lost ones.
In theory, this microphone should be better. If not, maybe you can hear the echo a little bit.
But even then, we'll get soundproof curtains and stuff. I mean, we're not speaking as loud as we could do.
Yeah.
Because we don't need to. The microphone's here.
The only things I can think of really to reduce echo without looking around the room and losing my voice to the microphone is the door definitely needs something. Mm-hmm. Definitely needs something there. There's going to be a big canvasy painting on the main bit of wall, which is completely empty. And I know if you buy posters or framed pictures, they don't actually dampen sound that much. No, they don't. But a canvas, it'll be made out of fabricy material.
Yeah, a canvas would do it better. Yeah.
And then I'll probably buy another cabinet thing and put a plant in front of it. I know plants help diffuse the sound a bit.
Yeah.
Other than that, I saw you can actually buy custom fitted, and what they normally do in studios without making them look like it's just loads of egg boxes. You can actually buy wooden. It's basically a wooden wall. But behind it, it's got soundproof padding, and you can get it custom fitted to the size of the room. So I could potentially do that because it's basically just a bit of paneling that you put on the wall, and it would look nice.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of improvements still to be had, but hopefully for now it doesn't sound too terrible.
Yeah, and Leander is also here. He hasn't said much yet.
Yes, I am.
Yeah. And we're pleased to announce it.
We're pleased to announce that Leander is now officially part of the podcast.
I'd love him to be. You know,
I honestly wouldn't mind joining as well. I think the issue has been that I've not really been around enough to join for most of the podcasts.
Well, I think you have what Tom. I mean, you already know this, but you have what I've offered to Tom, which is just an open invitation. You can join whenever you like. You know, you don't have to ask. You just be like, "Yep, we're podcasting. I'll be there."
Yeah.
And then occasionally I might be like, no.
You can't come. We're doing something special.
What do you mean?
This is a bonding session between
no
me and
Leander
Hector.
podcast.
Yeah. This episode's called Lack of Leander. So.
I think in the future I'll definitely probably join more, especially now that,
See, that took a downgrade. You said definitely and then you said probably.
And then you said maybe.
Oh.
And then you said you're not.
You know, and now I'm never.
And then you reversed it. You went definitely not. But yeah, talking of Leander, you bought me a little Christmas present that you wanted me to wait till we were recording to open.
I have, yes.
I have it in my hands now. You can hear the wrapping paper, audience.
Oh, this is now an ASMR episode.
But I'm going to open it now so you can see my reaction. I hope it's something lovely.
Yeah, it'd be really disappointing if it was like the worst gift you've ever opened.
Just like,
I'm opening it now. I'm going to open it slowly. I'm not.
I just really close
to some extent. I have kind of spoiled what it is, though.
Oh, is it the thing that I've already seen?
No, it's not the thing that you've already seen. Okay. But I have said to you what style of gift it will be. So
we now discovered that Bradley can't open Christmas.
For the audience, this is incredibly wrapped.
I mean, this is
impeccably
wrapped. Yeah, honestly.
Oh, what is this? Okay, so it's a game, The Mind. 2 to 4 players, 20 minutes, 8+.
So, for some context, I played this when I met up with a friend who I hadn't seen for a while, and he just happened to have it on him. Mm-hmm. And so we were drinking, but also playing this game. And the premise is there's a pack of cards from 1 to 100, and the idea is you will be dealt out X amount of cards. It starts off with 3. Say me and you are playing, we each have 3 cards and we hold them in our hands. You're not allowed to see the other player's cards, and without saying any words and without communicating what you have in your hand, you must place down the lowest of the 6 combined.
Okay.
And then you've got to make it all the way up to the 6th card. And then once that happens, you shuffle them back into the deck and you deal out 4 cards each. And that will go all the way up to 8 cards. And it sounds boring, just me explaining it, but playing it...
Can I read out because there's a little bio on the back of the box.
Yeah.
Eyes locked, cards in hand. Are you and your friends ready to become one mind? The Mind is the ingenious, addictive and ridiculously fun game that everyone is buzzing about. I have never heard of this game. How do you know what is in someone's hands without speaking? How do you make the right decision when the game is on the line? The answers lie in this little box, but beware. Once you enter the mind, you will not be able to think about anything else. And while the rules are simple, surviving every level is anything but. So you can die in this game. This game could kill you in real life.
In real life.
Okay, The Mind is a game of synchronization which relies on your sense of time. The lower a card is, the earlier it will be played. A 5 would be played pretty swiftly. I'm going to repeat that line. That's embarrassing for me. A 5 would be played pretty swiftly.
Bradley, you're making a fool of yourself on this podcast.
A 5 would be played pretty swiftly, whereas an 80 is likely to be held in the player's hand for a while. Over the course of the game, the players become increasingly synchronized in their terms. I'm going to stop reading.
Yeah, I think that's a good call.
But thank you, Bradley. Yeah, that's an excellent description.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I will say, it is the first time playing this, I got to 7 cards a hand when I was playing. And me and Matt, we were so in sync playing this. There was just... I mean, bearing in mind that he's played it a lot with friends.
Well, you do realise you've trapped yourself now, though, right? Because for the audience, Leander planned to leave.
But now I am staying.
Yeah, and after the podcast, we're going to be playing a game of this, aren't we?
Yes.
Yeah, now we've got something to do when you stay.
Wonderful.
Well, no, what a lovely gift. Thank you, Leander.
That's all right.
You precious jelly bean.
And now this is partly my gift because I'm now also opening it.
Yeah, they're both opening the
It's actually a gift for myself.
He's phoned the cards into the air.
I didn't care if you wanted to play it. I just wanted to play it myself, so I bought it. Yeah.
Well, no, I appreciate it. Did you give Hector his little gift?
Is this?
I did.
Let's see.
Like, these are the cards. Look at the cards.
Okay, there's a little bunny with a peace necklace. There's a throwing star. That's a ninja thing.
Okay, I have a feeling it's only the cards with numbers that we need. Those extra cards, I don't know what they're for, but
No, they mention it in here. example, the throwing star. At any point during a level, a player can suggest that a throwing star is to be played. This is signalled by raising a hand. If all the players agree, the throwing star is deployed and each player discards the lowest card in their hand. Okay, so it's like a modifier in Muppet Time.
Yeah.
This is lovely. That's yeah. I mean, I'm totally down to play a game with this later.
Definitely.
Yeah. We should record it on the podcast. Let's record everything we do in life.
I need to take a shit. Should I record that on the podcast?
Oh, yeah, you should definitely. Wait, can I put this in the box so I don't have a tiny piece of plastic lost forever on the floor?
Yeah. Just put it in there.
Tips it upside down on the floor.
Pours all of the pieces of plastic everywhere.
But yeah, also this would make for a good drinking game because you could play it so that whoever messes up and plays a card when somebody else had a lower card, they then drink.
Okay, yeah.
I'm not sure I entirely understand the premise of the game yet. But
you haven't played it yet.
Yeah, as with
I
most
understand
card games.
perfectly what you're doing.
Bradley is a connoisseur.
I feel like I made this game. Is how much I'm invested.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah. But it was Christmas, you know. Our last episode, this will be our first episode of 2024 when it's released. But right now it's only the measly 28th of December.
It is, yeah.
27th.
Yeah, 27th.
27th,
Yeah, so what did you boys do for Christmas?
Well, for Christmas Day,
which is Christmas.
Yeah, that is Christmas. Christmas Day.
Yeah, Christmas Eve and Boxing Day are bullshit holiday.
Yeah. I only care about the one and only Christmas Day.
Imagine someone being like, "Oh, I don't care about Christmas. I love Boxing Day." I'd be like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
There are some people who'd say that they prefer Christmas Eve.
Yeah, but they're wrong.
They're wrong. They're wrong that they prefer Christmas Eve.
They're just incorrect. That's like preferring fucking, you know, I can't think of one.
Yeah,
let's drop that.
But yeah, so my family, including Leander, my other brothers, and my mother, and Bradley.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know you were there.
You didn't see me?
Quiet and
you thought that lamp was a Christmas gift. It was me.
You're so surreptitious.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
he was
incredible.
tucked away in the corner.
But no, I didn't see you. But that's good to know that you were there as well. So.
In spirit, I was there.
In spirit, yeah. That's good.
You weren't in spirit or physically at mine.
No.
I didn't think about you the entire day.
We got to try out all of the cooking utensils to their full potential because we cooked a full Christmas roast.
Christmas roast.
Yeah, the potatoes were
You had a Christmas roast battle.
I will say the potatoes were cooked perfectly.
Yeah.
And to add to that, everyone in my work, you know, group chat, they post all their Christmas meals, and multiple people commented on how perfect the potatoes were in mine. So, well, mine, I say ours.
Yeah,
no, yours.
It was, just me. I only.
You mean mine? I cooked it.
Yeah,
I cooked the potatoes. I cooked the. Well, no,
I was the moral support.
I cooked the lunch with the help of Gabriel, the third eldest brother. Yeah. Third eldest brother, or the second youngest, whichever way you want to look at that.
Or the second to last, but also the third, and then the
yes, it's very good. Everyone, round of applause.
I've lost my flame. I've lost my mojo. You know, it used to be I could just spit out these things willy nilly, but now it's like.
I know what it is. It's because now we're all facing each other. That's what the problem is.
That is a difference.
Before we'd be sitting next to each other, so you can kind of get into your own headspace without paying any attention at all to eye contact, facial expression, all of those sorts of social things. So you can just talk.
No, let's actually let them in on that gossip. So we had one mic which would be on a mic stand on my desk, and we'd point it towards my bed, and the three of us would sit on my bed facing the mic, talking into it.
So we would be sitting next to each other, facing the wall.
So we'd hardly be looking at each other. The only time we really looked at each other is if someone was doing a monologue, you know, speaking for a while, and then you kind of sit back and look at them and be like, I like your style. But now
we give a small round of applause.
Yeah, but now if I turn my head just an inch to the left, I'm looking at Leander, and then if I turn it an inch to the right,
or if you just sit, you're staring directly into me and I directly.
And the only one not is Leander. Leander's free.
I have a whole bookshelf to sit and ponder. You know.
But he's also cross-eyed, so he's actually looking away from us. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's weird. It's kind of weird, you know.
It does change the dynamic a little.
I almost feel like I'm being watched constantly.
That's because I'm looking at you. You can see me looking.
You're not just looking at me. You are actively watching me.
Yes. So you shouldn't feel like you're being watched. You should just see that I am watching you right now. Yeah.
You're doing a lot with your hands, I've noticed.
I do that when I talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at my house, that's another thing about that sort of format. You're a bit more restricted because we haven't got much. We're tucked together like fucking penguins.
Our legs will be like this. Our legs will be squashed together. Hands.
We're like penguins who huddle for warmth.
Yeah.
But here we're free. I could do this. You can't see what I'm doing, audience. But I'm doing like something mad with my hands.
Oh my god, you should be very scared.
Yeah, you can probably hear it. It's probably going. You know, and we can do that now, and we got no noise.
Yeah.
Because in my old house, we had my stupid family where I stupid lived.
How often did you have to cut out noises from
so much for the audience? Even an episode that was like an hour long, it would be a recording session of like an hour and a half, and then half an hour of it was in the middle of it when my little brother just starts fucking screaming, having a meltdown over the telly.
I mean, we can, you know, if you're feeling
should we replicate it?
Yeah, I was just saying, you know, if you're feeling like you're missing out something, then you know I can.
What I'm missing out on is an extra like fucking 20 minutes in recording.
Yeah.
Because it's not just a case of cut it easily. No, I have to listen to it all so I know when to cut. So I've just got to listen, you know. And I listen to it. By the way, when I record a podcast and when I edit it, I listen to it in 1.5. Yeah. So we all sound like chipmunks.
Oh, I see. Yeah, nice. Sped up. Yeah.
I do that for two reasons. One is faster, and two, I prefer listening to it like that. I kind of can dissociate like that. I'm like, I'm just listening to the Chipmunk podcast.
Otherwise, you hear your own voice and you're like, I hate that.
Yeah. I want to release it in 1.5.
Yeah.
Personally.
The Chipmunk podcast, yeah.
And then I can start, you know, when I edit, I can start listening to it in 3 times, you know.
I want to hear what we sound like laughing in 1.5.
Yeah. Well, after this, I can show you. I can quickly just pop it on, you know. But yeah, welcome to episode 35. The main topic today is obviously going to be Doctor Who. The church on Ruby Road, the church on the Goblin Song. But until then, we've got any little bits.
What did you do for Christmas? Because that was what we did for Christmas. What did you do for Christmas Day?
So I had my fam around, you know, my family. I had my nan, my granddad, my aunt, my uncle, my cousin, my mum was there. I know, isn't this boring? I think Christmas is boring. I've said it before, I don't actually like Christmas that much.
Actually, no, I like the part of Christmas where family come over.
Yeah.
That's the part of Christmas.
Yeah.
And also the part where you get given loads of money and presents and food.
I mean,
to add to that, I actually prefer the giving because especially when you found a gift that you're like, oh yeah, they're really gonna like this gift.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that.
Yeah.
You nerd. I just like
Bradley hates everyone and everything.
But no, so they came over on Christmas Eve and then they stayed till Boxing Day. I don't know, we just had fun. We just played a game, we played Monopoly like we do every year.
Is that a tradition?
It is.
Yeah. Tradition. That's not particularly Christmassy. That's just like
it's Christmassy in the sense that, I mean, if you do anything on Christmas and you only do it on if you only took a shit on Christmas and become Christmassy, it'd be your Christmas shit.
You'd probably also die.
You might
if you only took a shit on Christmas.
Maybe. If you only showered then on Christmas. Yeah. And every other day you bathed and you were like, it's my Christmas shower.
Wow. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You're in the shower being like ding dongs bells, you know, like
or Christmas bath, you take a bath in gravy.
What the fuck are you talking about?
You know, God, you get all the remaining Christmas gravy and you take a bath.
Yeah.
I think we should.
Did you guys let's restart. Hello and welcome. Did you guys get drunk on Christmas?
No, didn't. No.
Not even.
I haven't gotten drunk in a while actually.
Yeah, now that I think about it,
we'll change that on New Year's.
Yeah, we will. Yeah.
I had a bit of, you know, I had some drinks in, boys. I waited till my nan and granddad I'd gone home. It was just me. No, everyone had gone home. It was just me and my sister awake, and you know, it was like, you know, 12. It was Christmas. Who cares? I was telling you it was Boxing Day then, but
very bad.
But I was like, oh, I kind of wanted to get drunker. Should we do like a drinking game? And she wanted to play Beerio Cup, but I was like, I don't want to get that drunk. I don't want to get shit faced at midnight. Yeah. I just want to get a bit tipsy. So I suggested that we do like a little bit of a, you know, we've tried it before with you, and it doesn't work because you're not funny. But you know, tell jokes and, you know, have a laugh.
Oh wait, we did that. I bet I did amazingly in that. Yeah, I did amazingly.
I mean, I told the best joke of the night.
Yeah.
That, I mean, because it's also, you can't laugh at your own joke, but me and her cracked up.
Yeah.
You go straight face. Let's see if you laugh at this. You're so fat that when your family take a family picture, you're the background. Fuck you. You're so
Wait,
fat.
really? That was the joke that made everyone laugh?
Yeah. I think that's a good joke.
it's like a
You're the background.
It's like a light-hearted and
Yeah, well, we feel we're telling rape jokes and 9/11 jokes.
Well, no, but I thought it was going to be more funny.
No, I think that's an appropriate amount of funny. Personally, you're the background. That's funny.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Yeah. What are you standing in front of? Hector. You know what it is? That's a funny joke. You both just lack an active imagination.
Okay,
Perhaps,
that's wrong because...
No,
okay,
I believe that's it.
Do you know where my mind went straight to? I imagined the villain from the Spider-Man, like giant, Kingpin. I just imagined him, straight face, just like dwarfing these tiny little people.
Oh, that's not what I imagined. What I imagined was like a normal-sized man, but his skin had been stretched out horrifically, covering.
All right, so I'll correct myself. It's not that you don't have active imaginations. It's just that you're both very disturbed. You're just both freaks.
You know, like the face from Doctor Who. You know,
just a normal man,
just stretched out. Yeah,
a normal young man would find that very funny. But you're both freaks. And then we couldn't drink on Boxing Day because we went to my aunt's and she is a recovering crack addict. No, she's a recovering alcoholic. So no alcohol there, obviously.
I didn't know whether to laugh there or
She's not actually. She's never had crack.
Okay.
To my knowledge, I
was going to say you don't know that.
I don't know that. To be fair. I'm assuming not.
Yeah.
Because she's functional.
Yeah.
But yeah, no alcohol then. But then that's when we went home. That's when we started Monopoly. And that's when things got wild. We were like, whoa, get the drinks in, yay! We all started tripping balls, you know. But no, and it's just a kind of standard Christmas, you know. But they're the good ones, you know. Every Christmas is last Christmas. You never know if it'll be your last.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you said we were morbid.
I didn't. I said you were freaks. Yeah.
Well, actually, we missed out on a normal Christmas tradition, which we have done for a while, which is we normally watch the is it the Polar Express? The Polar Express. You know that shitty CGI.
Yeah, we talked about it last time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, did we talk about that on the podcast?
Literally last episode when Luke was here.
Wow.
I asked your favourite Christmas movies.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, well, we watched that one.
Well, you did watch it? You didn't? You said you missed out.
No, sorry, we missed out on it. We normally watch it, but we missed out on it obviously because we were in the new house. We don't have a TV yet, so what we watched it on? I could have.
You could just exactly that.
It, yeah.
All aboard. You know.
Yeah.
You should have.
Wait, who is the actor that plays most of the characters?
Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks, of course, it's Tom Hanks. Beautiful man.
Yeah. Beautiful face.
Yeah. And welcome back, everyone. You're on the Bradley Talk Show today. And today we've got a special guest for you. It's Bradley.
Fuck yeah, it is.
How are you, Bradley? It's great to have you on the show.
It's my talk show. You said the Bradley Talk Show.
It's all about you, Bradley. Welcome to the show.
Welcome.
How are you today? Tell us, what have you done today, Bradley?
Today, I had some lamb earlier.
He had some lamb! You need to edit in like cheering.
I thought that was enough.
That happens.
Isn't that enough?
Cheering as well.
Oh, I had some cheering in. Sure. But yeah, I had some lamb.
Yeah, some lamb.
I had a shower.
Bradley had a shower!
I played some Batman Arkham Origins.
Cut.
Oh no.
No, sorry,
It's too fast.
Too personal.
That's sponsored content.
That's
Specifically, I took you backstage before I brought you on the stage of my show, Bradley's show. And I said to you, Bradley, do not bring up any sponsored content on Bradley's show.
Yeah.
And you said to me, well, Hector, I don't think this is fair. This is Bradley's show and I'm Bradley. So Bradley should be able to talk about whatever Bradley wants.
Yeah.
And I said, Bradley, don't do that.
I didn't.
But then you just did it 30 seconds ago. And then we started talking about how I talked to you before about how I was bringing you onto Bradley's show. And I'd said to you, Bradley, don't talk about that on Bradley's show.
What did I say?
For the listeners, take a shot every time they say Bradley.
I was just thinking that.
The bit's worn off. That's...
So yeah, you were watching the Polar Express. Or you weren't watching the Polar Express.
But we weren't watching the Polar Express, and that was why we missed the tradition.
Yeah.
And that was the end of our Christmas.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, did you do anything other than that? Did you listen? Were you just sat in silence in the dark? Like,
well, after we ate, we What did we do after? Oh, we played charades, actually. Charades are quite fun.
Charades you are.
Yes, indeed.
Was it dirty charades? Like you fist fucking a man? Like... Or was it just family friendly? Your mum was there. I guess it was family friendly.
This was our family.
No, we didn't do that. No. What we did do, though, was normal charades with movies and books. So it was about movies and books. And of course, one of the ones, so, the way it worked was, you have one team of 3. It was me, Leander, Gabriel, me, my 2 bros. On the other team, we got the 2 girls.
Ew.
We got Shumong. Boo. We got Shumong, my mum, and then also Milo, who's not a girl. He's a man. Well, no, he's a boy.
You sure? Maybe he's trans.
Don't push your trans identities onto my younger brother.
Hey, your younger brother can be whatever she wants.
That's fair. Yeah. And so the way it would work is we would write down 6 names of either a book or a movie, and then one of them would have to act it out.
I know what charades is.
And someone on their team would have to guess it. Right?
I do know what charades is. I played charades before.
And then they would write 6, which we would have to act out.
Oh my god, and we would have to act out. Oh my god. That's
so wait, I'm so fucking confused. Who won?
Yeah. We won in the end. And also, and that's also partly in thanks to one of my awesome entries. One of my entries was word for word, broken heart. A broken knee of my heart. A history of Western American Indians. Yeah. It was a 13-word one.
So there was no way in hell anyone was guessing that.
Yeah. And they did not guess it.
Yeah.
And so they naturally didn't get it.
Yeah. But also, I've got to say, every single one that I acted out was guessed successfully by you or Gabriel.
Yeah. I also did some very, very good ones, like, Dune. I put on some racial Arabic music.
Yeah.
And put on a turban, and, I basically became a racist.
Yeah.
And that was how we won.
Well, so you're telling me your team won?
Yeah, fine.
Oh, yeah.
Well done, boys.
Thank you.
Okay.
Well done to everyone. We've tried our best. Clap your hands.
I don't like this bit.
You're getting too into your job.
We sing that at school.
I know it. I literally just said you're getting too into your job.
Yeah.
No way.
At the end of assembly, we sing the well done song.
Wow.
But yeah, well done, genuinely.
Yeah. Okay, that well done is deserved as well, because I don't mean to...
Imagine if I picked up and accidentally dropped a candle.
Yeah, that would be hilarious. That should be your next
horrifying. What are the consequences if one of the children doesn't join in with the song?
What are you talking about? My someone non-verbal. We're singing the song.
There should be severe consequences, I think.
They get out the cane.
Yeah.
They get expelled immediately. Go to a normal school.
Thrown out onto the streets like a dog. Yeah.
I don't want to talk about that anymore, man.
Okay, so anyway, we're way off track.
That was pretty
As I was saying, the win was very well deserved, because not to hate on Gabriel's performance, but I absolutely will rip into it. It was fucking awful.
Abysmal.
Yeah, it was terrible.
I think... I mean, the kids at your school probably had a better chance at acting out in a wheelchair.
He was trying to act out Charlie Chaplin, and he did the little moustache, and he decided to do the one where he's playing Hitler, so he was doing Hitler stuff, and it's like, that's just Hitler. How am I supposed to associate that with Charlie Chaplin?
Well, it was less... It was less of that, but okay, here's a really good example. For the listeners, you're just going to have to imagine this, but...
They've got more active imaginations than you.
It was a 3-word book. Yes.
Book.
And it was
Was it the Bible?
It was Merchants of Venice. Spoilers. And he thought that for Venice he could just stand up straight and then put his hands in a pointed motion above his head like the A in the YMCA song.
Why?
And he thought that would represent Venice.
Yeah, but why?
Because of the cathedral.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
I would have gone with like a row.
That was literally what I
that's
said.
what
There's
what you said.
You could have done that. You could have done pasta.
Yeah.
You could have done so many things.
Or you could have just
You could have
acted
done
out.
this.
Yeah.
Or you could have acted out.
Did it one way,
Yeah.
you know?
Sounds like, and then just like,
Penis.
I don't know, venison. You can't really act out venison.
I think penis would actually Venice. You know, I'd
I
get
think
it
you
from
just
there.
love penis.
Yeah.
I love Venice.
Penis.
I love penis in Venice.
Yeah. I don't know how he didn't do that.
Yeah, I don't know.
There was another one which had the word new in it. What was
the
that?
Emperor's New Groove.
Yes. Oh, that was Milo.
that
You
was
couldn't do
Milo.
that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
But to be fair, he is only 15.
15, yeah.
Okay, that's not that young anymore, is it?
Yeah, what are you talking about? At 15, I was juggling and shit.
At 15, Bradley was going to choir. He was doing.
By 15, I'd won the gold medal at the Olympics for javelin. Don't fact check that, audience.
What year?
20, yeah. Anyway. No, that sounds nice. We played Heads Up, which is similar to Charades.
Oh, yeah. Is that? Oh, no.
That's the one where you put it on your phone and you put it on your head and then you've got a...
Yes,
and
that
we
one's
did
also fun.
Yeah, that one was fun. It was especially fun because I've got he's not my uncle. My aunt's boyfriend got really into it to the point where like he was the only one doing action and we were just sitting and watching him because he was getting out of breath. There was one, it'd be like riding the bike and he'd be standing up and he'd be like, brushing your teeth. He'd be like, he was getting weirdly into it. And eventually, my mum was just like, she basically whispered, she was just like, everyone sit down. He's got this,
So it is funny when some adults get weirdly into board.
We played this one game, which is a fun game. I don't know where he found it, but he came up with this game where you get in teams of 2 and there's a word written on paper and out of each 2, one person can see the word or the thing. It could be anything on paper. But then you go, one by one into your groups of 2 and you've got to say a clue. So say the word was like, come up with
Donkey.
Donkey. You could be like, Shrek.
Okay.
And then you guess, no? It moves on to the second person. New clue. Hair.
Oh, that's quite a cool game.
Yeah.
I like the idea of that. Yeah, that's fun.
And you keep going until, the clues build up and you can figure out the word.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
That is a cool game. I like that. Yeah, that'd be a fun one.
I mean, it is a good game. They've had to stop doing movies because I was just winning. I'll be done.
Every single one.
Yeah. They genuinely, at some point, they were like, we can't do any more movies, Bradley.
Oh, here's a hard one that I did, which I wondered if you would have been able to do this one, which was Hereditary. Hereditary. How do you do Hereditary in charades, or Hereditary, however you pronounce it? How do you do that in charades? Because it's one word. That makes it somehow a little bit hard.
I just act out scenes from the movie, bro.
Oh, but what if people haven't seen the movie?
What if they haven't seen the movie?
How do you do it then?
Yeah.
Hereditary, one word, but hereditary, 4 syllables.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one, yeah.
So yeah. One, point at the woman. Her.
I'm so glad you brought this up because me and Hector both said, yeah, it's 4 syllables. But then afterwards, the opposing team was saying, no, it's actually 3 syllables.
No, wait, if anything, it could be 5. Hereditary,
yeah, that's what I was saying. And they were saying it was just hereditary. But it's spelled hereditary.
That's still 4.
Yeah.
Okay,
it's still not 3, yeah.
I've got to look this up.
So because of haikus, there's a song you can do that makes it easy, which is that. It's that tune. Da, 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 da. Hereditary. Hereditary. No, isn't. By the way, it's not hereditary. It's definitely hereditary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which was what I said. I was like, wait a second, it's 5 syllables. And then they were like, no, it's not, it's 4 syllables.
But even then...
Oh, there's 5.
Yeah, it's 5 syllables, yeah.
Because that's how it's spelled, hereditary.
Yeah. Hereditary, yeah. But even then, even if there was one extra syllable, as long as you're doing it right.
What is that? At the bottom of the fucking... That's how you know.
Leander Googled it to figure out, and then it came up with a advert for an autism
Oh my
test.
god, there's not just one, there's 3 of the exact
in case
same...
you missed it.
Yeah, in case you've missed it the first 2 times, they do have an autism.
But yeah, no, yeah, that's 5 syllables, 100%.
Yeah.
So did you get that word then?
No, I gave that word to them and they couldn't figure it out.
Yeah.
Well, I've just told you how to do it. Her, red, admittedly.
It.
The next part is
Oh,
harder.
It. You could act out the clown from It, the movie.
Or the alien. Oh,
Yeah.
no, that's
What?
E.T.
No, yeah, that's...
E.T.
Yeah.
That's not it. That's
Or you could be
E.T.
like, rhymes with lit. You know? Bit. Bit, you know. Tear sounds like, sounds like tear.
Doesn't.
Terry. You could just put tear and like...
Alright,
tear
rhymes
or
with
something.
hair.
Ah, yeah. Tear.
Yeah.
Re.
Her
Yeah, E.
red ear. You just put I, her red eye Terry, because they'd still get it if it was like her red eye Terry, you know?
Unless imagine if they were like, who red-eyed Terry? Who red-eyed Terry? What the fuck are you talking about?
Which they could do very easily.
That was an impression of your mum, by the way.
Wow. Bradley.
Yeah. But no, that sounds like fun.
Yeah, it was good fun. Yeah. Charades is good fun. But yeah, that was our Christmas. How about yours?
Yeah, again, my
Everybody
Christmas
else
was fine.
Yeah.
You did ask.
Yeah.
It was fine, you know?
However, the next topic of interest, Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Wow, that was a terrible segue.
That was the worst. You know what? I'm cutting that and I'm going to add in a better
You
segue.
literally just broke apart the conversation.
Ask me how my Christmas was again.
Okay.
It isn't important.
So how was your Christmas, Bradley?
Oh, it's funny you asked. Yeah, I've already explained it actually. Yeah, my Christmas was fine. We did pick up on one tradition, which we haven't been able to do since 2017. Because it stopped. Bastards! That's another thing. I know it peaked the mic, but we could be loud now, you know. So, I'll do it. I'm going to do that bit again, but away. The bastards! It still peaked. Wow, it's a really sensitive mic.
Yeah.
Either way, the Doctor Who Christmas special.
Perfect.
Which has been gone since 2017.
Yeah.
Peter Capaldi left.
Yeah.
That was the last special. We've had, technically, legally, we've had 3 Doctors since.
Yeah. And I have good memories of, fond memories of Doctor Who Christmas specials. Specifically, the one Christmas special that sticks in my memory, which I remember.
Can I
watching.
guess?
Guess, yeah. Go
David Tennant.
Well, let me guess one.
okay.
Jesus. Is it Voyage of the Damned? The Titanic one?
No.
It's not the Titanic
It's
one.
not the Titanic one.
Runaway Bride?
No.
Okay, you just say it.
What's on Mars?
It's not a Christmas special. It is a special, but it's not a Christmas special.
It was released on Christmas.
No, it was the 25th of November. It was just a like.
Oh, it was
autumn
just a special.
Yeah.
Wow, I remember that as a Christmas special.
Yeah, nah.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
I can't believe it. Well, that as a special sticks in my
Although
memory.
if it was a Christmas special, obviously I'd say that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Voyage of the Damned. Wait, that was the
That's the Titanic
yes. That one was okay.
one. I mean, that's just the one that everyone. I disagree too, but everyone thinks that's like the best Christmas special.
Okay, I suppose then. Okay, I know. Apart from Waters of Mars, which, as I now know, was not a Christmas special, then in that case it would be the one before David Tennant with the arachnids in the sky.
That's still David Tennant.
Yeah.
The Arachnos and Donna is introduced with David Tennant.
Wait, no, the Christmas star in the sky.
That's Runaway Bride. David
You
Tennant.
fucking kidding me? I thought that was.
That's why I said
I thought
David
that
Tennant.
was dude with shaved head.
He never had one. The first Christmas special was the Christmas Invasion with the cigarettes, and it was David Tennant again. Do you want me to list them all? I can list them all.
Yeah, sure.
Alright, so we had the Christmas Invasion, 2005. David Tennant's first
That's
introduced.
David Tennant?
Yeah.
Why do I remember...
Right, because
What is his name?
Christopher Eccleston.
It wasn't Christopher Eccleston.
It wasn't. He didn't have a
really?
Christmas
Are you
special.
sure?
Yes. Am I sure? I'm about to list all of them in order. Yes, I'm sure. We had the Christmas Invasion 2000. Okay, you Google it. I'm going to tell it to you though, Leander.
Yeah.
So we had the Christmas Invasion in 2005, the Runaway Bride in 2006, Voyage of the Damned in 2007, the Next Doctor in 2008, which is a shit one. That's the one with the Cybermen in Victorian times. They meet the governor from The Walking Dead, and he thinks he's the Doctor.
Oh, that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do remember that one. Yeah.
Then we get the End of Time, where David Tennant regenerates.
Yeah.
After that, we get A Christmas Carol, which is a banger. That's secretly the best Christmas special. Their version of A Christmas Carol.
What with Matt Smith?
Yeah, with Matt Smith and Dumbledore. The guy who plays Dumbledore is in it as like Scrooge.
I can't believe this. But like,
You're wrong. Yeah.
I can't believe that.
Yeah.
I remembered it completely differently.
Yeah. But yeah, after that we get The Doctor, the Widow and the Wardrobe, which is secretly the worst Christmas special. That is
The Doctor,
awful.
the Widow and the Wardrobe.
Yeah, it's literally a Narnia parody. So the Doctor, it's like Victorian times, it's a family. It's like World War II times actually, not Victorians. And they go to a manor house because their dad's just died, and the Doctor's the caretaker there, and he's bought them a big present box, and in the box is a portal to a whole winter wonderland where there's a tree king, and they're going to destroy it with acid rain.
Wow.
It's garbage. It's an awful Christmas special. It is. I don't need to explain myself to you. After that we have the snowmen, which is exactly what it's like. There's killer snowmen. Then we have the Time of the Doctor where Matt Smith regenerates. Then we get Peter Capaldi specials. Like, Peter Capaldi has weird specials because they're weird specials. Yeah, I don't need to, They are weird. The first one's called Last Christmas, which is an alien parody, but also slightly a Nightmare on Elm Street ripoff, where there's like dream crabs that are going on your face and they're putting you into dreams. I don't know. Then we get The Husbands of River Song, which is really just funny. It's really, really funny. You get the Doctor meeting River Song for the last time, but she doesn't know that she's ever met a Doctor past Matt Smith, so she doesn't believe it's him. So he's pretending he's not the Doctor. It has one of my favourite moments ever, where they find the TARDIS, River goes in first, and the Doctor stood outside with a character Nardo, and he's like, finally, it's my turn. And then he enters the TARDIS, and he's like, oh my God! And he does this whole little 40-second bit being like, oh, but it's bigger on the Like, it's great.
Nice.
Yeah. Then we get the return of Dr. Mysterio, which is like, it's superheroes. Like, he's just a flat out Superman guy, which sucks. Terrible episode. Then we get the last one, which is Twice Upon a Time, where the 12th Doctor meets the first Doctor. They don't fight or anything, they're just buds. I don't know why I had to specify that. None of the Doctors have ever physically fought.
They fight with their fists and their feet.
And their minds.
Yeah.
But yeah, then obviously Peter Capaldi regenerates into Jodie Whittaker. In real life that happened too. That wasn't just a show thing. He can do that.
I did that in real life.
But yeah, and then it's been away since 2017. We just had fucking New Year specials, which were dog shit. Resolutions, dog shit. Spyfall was released on New Year's, but it's not a New Year's special. Fucking Revolution of the Daleks. Bullshit. Eve of the Daleks. They're all Daleks too. Eve of the Daleks. Bullshit. All the Jodie Whittaker specials suck. Legend of the Sea Devils can suck my cock. Awful. That might be, unironically, I think Legend of the Sea Devils is the worst episode of Doctor Who in this revival era.
Wow.
Like, the worst.
Wow.
I will never rewatch it. I've no need to. It's awful. The Power of the Doctor's fine. But now we've gotten, the Church on Ruby Road.
Mm.
And I watched it with my family. You watched it first time with me about an hour ago.
Yes.
What did you guys think?
What did I think? Well, where to begin?
I mean, Leander could start. I said you guys. I didn't.
Holy shit!
Taking
okay.
control.
Oh my god!
He just dominated you physically.
Yeah. Do you know what Leander?
He basically slapped his cock in your face just then, Leander. I've decided to answer first.
So I think I enjoyed most of the episode. I think the only critiques I have is that it didn't really feel like a finale of the Christmas special, if you know what I mean.
I don't know what you mean, actually.
You don't know what I mean?
What do you mean the finale? It's not the last one.
Yeah, I know, but it's like the last of the segment of 4, right? Or is there another episode? Is there a 5th?
Well, no, I mean, it is the 4th special. This isn't a part of the... That was like its own trilogy. That was the 60th anniversary specials. Well, this is almost like, if anything, you're dead wrong.
Oh,
this isn't a finale. This is a new
one.
beginning.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I understand. Oh, to my understanding, it was the last of this Christmas special.
That was the giggle. That was the one where David Tennant leaves in the twilight. That was the finale.
Very much was a finale.
Yeah.
Well,
this is a new beginning. Yeah.
In that same vein, a new beginning. It didn't feel very. I mean, I enjoyed it. There were some cringe moments, like with the goblins
which we'll
singing.
Get into.
Yeah, which we will get into. But I think overall, I enjoyed the premise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, Hector, you should also...
Dog shit. Garbage.
Oh.
I hated it.
No!
Hated that episode.
Oh.
The blackness, the
Okay.
gayness.
Okay.
The blackness,
Okay.
the gayness.
Cut that.
Yeah. I'm joking. But unironically, there probably are a lot of people that would say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're one of them. I don't want to.
I'm not one of them.
You just said it. We recorded you saying it.
All right. Here is my...
Well, as you're talking us through the critique, why don't you just tell us a bit about what happened in the episode, Tony?
Sure. Yeah. So the episode's premise seems... which I also wasn't a huge fan of either. Actually, there were a lot of things in the episode I wasn't a massive fan
of. You actually did hate the episode. You
actually kind of did hate it a little bit, yeah. Yeah, I really wasn't a big fan of this episode, but that's okay.
You'll learn to love it.
Yeah, perhaps.
I'm going to a Clockwork Orange. I'm going to tie you in a chair, keep your eyes open, play it repeatedly.
Surely that would just give me insane PTSD and make me hate it even more.
Yeah. You're right. Yeah. That's what happens in a Clockwork. I wasn't thinking straight.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess it starts off with, a woman, she's dropped off a baby at a church and she's walking down and we hear the TARDIS. Ooh.
Yeah. And we hear Carol the Bells and a little narration from the Doctor.
Indeed. Yeah. And then we cut to this blonde girl who's seemingly on some kind of TV show.
It's a real show.
It's a real show.
Yeah, Long Lost Family. That's why Davina McCall's in it. It's a real show called Long Lost Family.
Oh, I see. Okay, well, there you go. It's a real show called Long Lost Family.
Hosted by Davina McCall.
Yeah.
She's live on Channel 4, please do not swear.
Live on Channel 4. Yeah. Yeah. And a bunch of mischievous things happen while they're doing the interview.
Yeah.
Huh?
Little goblin boys.
Yes, little goblin boys. Yeah. Or goblin girls.
Yeah, one goblin girl. Janice Goblin.
Yeah.
Which is her name.
Or goblin days.
Which by the way, I mean, the fact that they named it Janice Goblin is funny because it's not just Janice Goblin, it's Jan is Goblin.
Yeah.
Which is just quite funny.
Amazing.
I mean, what did we think of the goblins?
The goblins, as in general? Design, I thought the design was good.
They're mostly practical.
I liked that they're mostly practical. You can tell that it's not 3D, and I like it. I like the fact that it's not CGI. Design is great. I think the voices are cool.
Yeah.
I think overall the design...
I think Janice Goblin has the best voice of them.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
She's weirdly hot. I'm just going to say it.
Yes.
The one thing I feel like the goblins did lack is kind of like a sense of danger or threat, because
I can agree with that. Yeah.
One scene that did really stick with me is when, the Doctor and I forget her name already.
Take a guess. You got 3 guesses. This is a game now. Take a guess. What do you think?
Ruby. Oh, that was it.
Wow,
yes,
you got it
Ruby.
fast, guys. You ruined the game. You should have added some tension and been like Mooby. Kooby.
Well, regardless, the Doctor and Ruby fall through the ceiling of this wooden ship where the goblins are all on, and they land on the conveyor belt towards the King Goblin.
The Goblin King.
The Goblin King, sorry.
Well, that doesn't go with the song,
I stand corrected.
He's the King Goblin, the King Goblin. That doesn't go with the song.
Well, they land on this conveyor belt, leading straight to the Goblin King's mouth. And first of all, the conveyor belt just stops. I guess the guy winding it up saw that more food landed on the conveyor belt and was like, whoa, that's a little bit too much for the Goblin King.
That's a good way of thinking about it.
And then
that actually, no, I don't know if it is. That's like if you were cooking dinner and a chicken burst through your window, you wouldn't immediately just be like, and stick it on the fucking grill. You'd stop cooking and be like, there's a chicken there.
I suppose so. But my main critique is that they landed there and they just kind of... The goblins all just kind of stood there. They just watched them.
They started hissing.
Yeah, they started hissing, but only after the Doctor started speaking.
Yeah.
And so they didn't really feel like they were in any danger at all.
What I would say... Actually, since we talked about Waters of Mars already, I'll bring it up again. Waters of Mars... Maybe not watching it now, that's not terrifying, but I remember watching it when I watched it.
When's the last time you watched it, but it's still really tense episode.
And it has like a lot of actually pretty disturbing
That
concepts.
Shot where the guy's on his knees and the guy's above him pumping water and his guy's convulsing as he does it. That's burned into my fucking brain.
And the woman who's crying and screaming on watching a video of her kids as the water pours down and then she starts shaking.
Yeah, that's really shocking imagery for a child.
But not all Doctor Who episodes are like that. Think about the adipose. That's silly and fun.
I had no
right? The adipose, right? The adipose are cute, funny, But
that's the joy of Doctor Who. You really can get one after the other. Yeah. Right after Blink, we had Utopia, where it was the future kind of the Master. And right before it, we had the Family of Blood. And that's 3 scares in a row. It's oh my god. But then before that, we had Lazarus, the big CGI scorpion guy.
But I've got to say, when I watched that, I found that scary.
Well, Lazarus.
Yeah, when I watched it as a kid, I did find that scary. Yeah.
The bigger things get, the less. Because if it gets to a big enough point, it's just like, well, just, go somewhere else at that point. I don't know. That's how my brain went to a child. It was like, well, it can't fit through a normal door.
That's true.
Like, just hide in a closet at that point.
Yeah.
Like, with a Dalek, although Daleks did kind of scare me a bit as a kid, they've never done this in the show, by the way, to my knowledge. Just play dead. Just fall and, the laser just missed. And fall to the ground. I've never seen anyone actually do it in the show. I want to know, would a Dalek even know?
Well, it's got, like armour, like
built
around.
As
so
an adult, you question it. But as a kid, seeing no one even try it, I was just like, I bet it works.
Yeah.
And even today, I still have my doubts. But yeah, I don't know. But yeah, something you're right, is in like, especially in the mind of a child, what was most terrifying? Adipose not, the goblins not. No,
not even close. I don't think it was, it definitely wasn't supposed to be in any way a scary episode. And that's pretty obvious from the pacing, like not even just, I don't know. Yeah.
Here's a question. To make the goblins more scary, would you change their actions or their designs? Like, if they did the exact same thing, but they don't look like the goblins from Labyrinth, would that
probably change the design a little bit, I think. Yeah.
See, I disagree with that. Because I think the actions.
Yeah.
Look at like Beep the Meep, for example, in the first special. It looks cute, but then as soon as it becomes bad, I could see that actually creeping out a kid.
Yeah.
Even though it is like fluffy and shit.
Yeah. I mean, some of them had like goofy kind of looking designs. They didn't look very scary.
Apart from Janice Goblin, who, God almighty.
Jesus Christ. So I mean, if it was to be
Janice
scary,
to Goblin,
you'd probably change the design and just everything generally. You'd change the whole episode because a little wooden ship floating through the sky with a fat goblin king and.
Well, in my opinion, it's impossible for me to believe they wanted it to be scary with the introduction of the Goblin song.
Yeah.
Because zero.
I suppose in that regard, it's more of like a feel-good episode more than like a.
I mean, I said before I watched it, I thought it was supposed to be a parody of Labyrinth. But I disagree with that now. I think it's just more of a parody of. Again, I mean, you said it kind of. I think it's not even a parody. It's just sort of a pastiche on Disney shit. Like, it is very fantasy.
Yeah.
Which Doctor Who, Russell has said he's leaning into that. He leaned into it a bit with the Toymaker anyway.
Yeah.
And I don't necessarily have a problem with it. If anything, I had the opposite. There's a bit in the episode where he's talking about the goblins and he's like, they surf time. They go through time. And I was like, just make them goblins, bro. They don't need to go through time.
Yeah, but when that whole bit happened and it's like all of the bits where it's tried to scientifically explain stuff, I was just like, shut up.
Exactly. Exactly.
It's fucking this is fantasy. Stop trying to justify.
Yeah, and I was a bit like that too. I was like, fuck the time. They're goblins. Just have them be goblins. Let them goblin. Let Janice goblin. You know.
See, but what this means now, Bradley, is that you are primed and ready to watch Lord of the Rings.
Oh, but I'm never going to.
Well, you basically just
do they have a Hobbit song?
Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
Is it as catchy? Do they have a Janice Hobbit?
You choosing not to watch Lord of the Rings now is pure prejudice.
No, it's not.
It is.
It's not. You know what?
You just watched that episode.
You know what? I'm going to really fucking annoy you. I'll never watch Lord of the Rings, but guess what? I'm going to watch the Hobbit trilogy.
Wait, you've never watched The Hobbit?
I've never... No, why would I have watched either of them?
Because they're good movies.
I don't care. It needs to be more than good to me.
It needs to be.
They're award-winning.
It won an award.
Movies.
It needs to.
It won an award, guys.
Yeah, it shouldn't be award-winning. It just needs to have a gay black man, and then Bradley will watch it.
Oh,
yeah, that's what it is. That's why I watched one of your mum's sex tapes. I was offended to both of you too. So fuck you.
Well. Either way.
No, I'm laughing just purely because I still can't believe you haven't watched The Lord of the Rings.
God, you sound so fucking pretentious.
But you're such a movie person.
Yeah, you haven't watched Lord of the Rings.
I don't understand how.
See, at this point, I think you're actively choosing not to watch it, not because you don't think it will be bad. you're actively choosing not to watch it because other people have said, hey, you should watch this.
I actively choose not to watch it because I think the genre is very fucking boring.
Really? What did you just watch?
No, but that's different. That is different.
There's such a small... There's not much difference.
No, you're high. You are high if you
just watched an episode about goblins.
Yeah, but so what? There's more to it than goblins.
What else was
You're saying the only thing in Lord of the Rings is a fucking goblin. I'm talking about I don't care about the fucking detailed lore. The same reason I don't watch Game of Thrones.
I mean, Doctor Who is detailed lore.
Yeah, but that's a different type of lore, bro. And I already know that lore. You know what? Actually, no, I've got the perfect argument for this. Because I actually genuinely believe this. If I didn't watch it as a kid, if Doctor Who was a completely new thing to me, I wouldn't. I'd be like, that's too much shit. What do you mean it's been on for 60 years, there's fucking 40 seasons, fucking 18 doctors? No, I would have been like, nah, bro, I'm not going to watch that. I grew up with it. I know the law already. It's ingrained in my head. I can't get rid of it. I'm not learning all new law. I'm not learning a language.
Counter-argument. It's only 3 movies.
But it's more than that.
To be fair, it's not that much more than that.
Yes, it is.
It's not.
You say it's only 3 movies. You say it's only 3 movies, but it's not as if they're small movies. It's not like fucking, hour and a half each movie. It's like fucking, the whole trilogy is like a fucking 12-hour experience. I could watch a season of television in that time.
Yeah, you could. Yeah. But you could also watch Lord of the Rings.
I'm not going to. I don't want to, but I don't like the genre. If I did like the genre, I would have given Game of Thrones more of a chance.
If you don't like the genre, then I expect your rating of this episode to be abysmally low.
It's not abysmally low, but I don't rate it as high as I did to like fucking Wild Blue Yonder. So. I think the episode's fun. It's fine. It's fun. Not good. And I wanted to discuss that. I wanted to bring up the fact that these 4 specials, 3 of them have been real fun, but not very good to me. The only good one was Wild Blue Yonder, which is the most sci-fi. Thank you very much.
Wild Blue Yonder, which one's that?
They're not things.
Oh, right, yeah.
Like this and the Star Beast and the Giggle, fun. They're fun. They're goofy fun. And I've said at the beginning, I said the very first one with the Star Beast, right now, this is a launching off point. All it needed to be was fun. It didn't need to be good. It was for new audiences. But this is different. You've had that launching off point. You're doing a second launching off point, 3 episodes after the first one, and you're still just being fun. Give me good content. I want something interesting. I've watched Wild Blue Yonder like fucking 9 times.
Okay. So yeah, and off the back of that, I would say that this is supposed to be a launching off point. This is supposed to be an episode. If it's the first episode that's going to hook people in, you would expect that as they're planning this, they would be planning it out in such a way, okay, we need to give people a flavour of what Doctor Who is all about. And so they do an episode about goblins in a floating wooden ship.
Yeah, but that's the thing.
This episode, in my opinion, did not capture... Well, no, sorry. It captured very little of what Doctor Who has been like, pretty much. I mean, unless this is how it's going to be going forward.
Which I think is the case.
Really?
Yeah. Well, I don't think it's going to be goblins specifically, but I think Russell is going to lean more into the idea of the mystical and the gods. I mean, we've had hints to that already with the Toymaker being like, my legion are coming and all that shit. He even said in an audio commentary, I haven't listened to it yet, but he said that I hate this still. I talked about this in the giggle, I hate it. But apparently it's all stemmed from David Tennant doing that salt superstition at the edge of the universe. It like opened a door. I hate that. I hate that explanation. It's dumb as silly. It's dumb for babies. But that's canon. He opened a door. Things have entered this universe now that weren't there before because he threw some salt.
Yeah. But yeah, in my opinion, that episode. Okay, if this is indeed how most of Doctor Who is going to be from now on, kind of like more like this, slightly more upbeat, slightly more fast paced, a little bit slightly more goofy, slightly more, like the episode.
I don't think the whole thing is going to be, but I mean. Like, for example, Matt Smith's era was modelled fairy tale-ish. It was supposed to be like a fairy tale. The whole story of him and Amy Pond was supposed to be like a fairy tale. And while it does have that sort of whimsical view, he disappears when she's a child, he comes back 12 years later, there's the wedding, there's people dying and coming back, one true love. That's not every episode that's happening, That's just kind of a throughout thought, you know?
But here's a good point, I feel. so far from what we've seen of the new Doctor, he hasn't had, and I'm sure this has been the case with other Doctors to begin with, but he hasn't really had any super serious moments.
I disagree.
Which, you disagree?
Yeah.
What, you mean the brand new Doctor?
The brand new Doctor.
No, I disagree.
He was crying.
When Ruby disappeared, he went very serious.
Yeah.
But also, you can't cram too much into one episode.
Yeah.
Dude, in David Tennant's first appearance, he was gone to the last 10 minutes and he came back and had a sword fight.
Yeah, that's true. I just feel like from my point of view watching the episode, I feel like it was much more upbeat and less... I don't know, maybe there will be like episodes that are more like...
I mean, I know that there's going to be an episode, so it was leaked a while back, and then there's a shot in the trailer that confirms it. There's going to be an episode this season where the Doctor steps on a landmine, and that's the concept. Like, he's stuck on a landmine for like the episode. Love that idea.
Yeah.
Moffat's coming back and he's writing that. And I know that. It's been leaked. I don't like it, but yeah, Moffat will be back. But that's a great idea for an episode.
Yeah.
That's a serious concept, you know.
Yeah.
That's sci-fi too. It's an alien landmine, you know. It's not as if he steps into
I do really hope that the show doesn't kind of become a fantasy sort of show.
No, I mean, Doctor Who will never lose. I mean, we're gonna do a historical and meet the Beatles, and you know, we're getting weird slug things. I think I do genuinely think that the mystical fantasy elements will be a one-off. And another thing about this Goblin thing, it's a Christmas special. It's not as if this is the first Christmas special with fantasy elements. We went to the Titanic. As I said with the Doctor, the Widow and the Wardrobe, they did a Narnia parody. They did a Christmas Carol. You know, they just did it differently. Oh, the ghosts are holograms from the 50th century, and there's fish in the fog and all that stuff. Doctor Who tampers, Doctor Who diddles, bimbles with the fantasy all the time.
Yeah,
you know. And if it's just going to lean a little bit more into it, I'm fine with that. Don't become Lord of the Rings. Here's one thing I don't want. No. They've done it before in Doctor Who. Once. And I hate it. I don't want the Doctor to ever be actively on a quest. Like, for a period of time. He should stumble into situations. I hate it whenever he goes into the TARDIS and he's like, where are we going? Oh, we've got to go here. We have to. And then the episode ends and the next episode they're there. Like, no. Have that in the episode, sure, that's a part of the concept. But he should appear in every new location completely by surprise, just being like, what we got here then? They did that for an entire season of the classic era. He was on a quest to reassemble the key to time. And I hated it. I hate that. Never have the Doctor be on a quest to return the ring to Mordor. Let him bumble into Mordor and find out.
He just hates anything that's slightly.
You brought it up.
However, I feel like I don't know, there's instances where it's almost as if he stumbled onto it, and it's almost as if the writing is pushing it too hard.
It happens.
Like, I mean, I can only really think of one off the top of my head, but when Ruby's grabbed onto the ladder and she's floating up, and suddenly the Doctor is on the roof of houses, sprinting towards the ladder.
Well, the implication there was that, because he said that he noticed Ruby with bad luck, so he was probably watching, then when the ship came, he just raced up to get to the roof as fast as he could.
Yeah.
Because even you said, you were like, oh, surely people could see this. And it's like, well, yeah, but what are they supposed to do? What are you going to do? If you looked at you in the sun, what would you do?
I'd probably record it.
Yeah. Who's to say they didn't?
You wouldn't call the police. Hello,
there's a goblin ship. It's down in the children.
There's a giant wooden ship flying through the sky.
Look at that woman. Like, no, but for real,
that woman. Who the fuck was that woman?
Okay, that's a good point.
We can talk about that.
Yeah.
I mean, actually, no, let's save that for the end, because she's the end.
She is that, yeah. Right.
So, they save the baby, Lula Bell. We get the Goblin song, and then we get Shooty and Millie's little duet, which I want to say, I fucking love this show. It's my bread and butter, it's my blood, it's my life force. I would be dead without this show. I would kill myself. Nah, but for real. I watched this with my family, because again, it was tradition, and man, oh man. When the Goblin song started, I felt a little bit of cringe.
A little bit.
I
felt cringe, and we're just in a room with us three.
Okay,
so
yeah, I'm lying.
I couldn't.
I felt cringe, And I obviously knew the Goblin song was coming, but then my little sister was like, what is this, Bradley? And I had to have a moment. I had to be like, okay, I could either lie and be like, I don't know, or I could be like, this is the Goblin song. And I chose the former. I was like, oh, I don't know, man. It's this Doctor Who. Yes, it's camp. It's fun. A bit cringe. When Shooty Gatwa and Willie Gibson started singing, I burst into laughter because I was like, oh my God, this is incredible. This is cringe enough that I would have been like, if I had known, I would have been like, okay, I'm going to watch it downstairs in my room and I'll rewatch it with you later.
Yeah.
Cause man, I genuinely, I just burst into laughter because I don't know why, I wasn't expecting it. I didn't know they'd do that.
Me neither.
Yeah.
I like it. It might be really cringe, but I like it. It has a canon reason. The Doctor needed to waste some time. They've got an entire band there. Clearly he knows some rhymes, so he was like, fuck it, sing.
In a way they need to freshen up the show, because if it's being bought, if it's being funded by Disney, there needs to be some sort of change.
But you've described a change and you're rejecting it. The change is that they could push more into the fantasy element.
See, that part I'm not the biggest fan of, but the part that I would be a fan
what
of
else could
is
you change?
That's a good question.
What else could you change? That would
the real reason why I don't like the change is because nostalgia.
Yeah.
And I don't like the idea of Doctor Who, which is like, part of my memories is like changing. That's like, typical old white racist. I hate change.
But dude, Doctor Who is like the Doctor Who itself. It's always changing. It's always evolving. It's going to have a new face.
Yeah. But I think from a show's perspective, I think if it's being brought into a new space such as Disney Plus, then it makes sense for it to change a little bit. And also, I think a lot of the things on Disney Plus, a lot of them are slightly more fancy.
Well, you've got to understand, because I feel like you've brought up Disney Plus a lot. You've got to remember, they aren't producing the show. They can give little notes here and there, and they've put some money into it. But this is still very much a BBC Bad Wolf show. Like, they have zero choice in, like, casting and story notes. They can give hints and suggestions. For example, the only scene in that entire episode that we know had Disney involvement, as in, like, the Disney gave the note and they listened, was the scene at the very beginning where the snowman falls. Because Disney were like, well, we haven't seen the Doctor in a while. We're not going to see him for a while. We still need it. We need a little reminder the Doctor's here. That's a good note. It's true. If it wasn't for that scene, we'd have, like, 10 minutes about the Doctor in this episode. That's a good note.
Yeah,
they didn't push the goblins.
Yeah, no, I don't think that Disney had involvement in changing or like refreshing up the show. I think that's just logical.
Yeah,
if you're being put on Disney Plus, it's kind of logical to try and all of the people in charge of the show are sitting down and saying to themselves, how can we present this as best as we can to the Disney audience? Because it's their one shot at making the show blow up and get big. Yeah. So obviously, I mean, this kind of makes sense because a lot of people love fantasy. It's still got sci-fi in it. I might not like it personally, but I'm sure a lot of people probably do.
I mean, I've already asked it, but my genuine question, because you don't like the fantasy change, but if you really think about it, the only thing that would change there are the type of things the Doctor would expect. The format of the show stays the same. He still has the TARDIS. He's travelling in time and space. He's going to location to the other. It's only what he's facing that would change. What other changes could you realistically do? Hell, they just did one. They did the bi-generation. There's 2 Doctors out there now. That's a big change. What else could they do,
I suppose big changes that you could do could
get rid of the TARDIS? Strand him on Earth?
I guess outside of like budget, not really much.
Yeah, well, they've got the change to the budget.
Yeah.
And they've used it well. These episodes have looked great. Look at the goblins. They're practical.
Okay, I suppose you could change like slightly more grey area things that I couldn't really just like say. Things like how the show kind of comes across, like,
What, make it adult, you mean?
No, I mean like tone changes, or like, like I feel if you,
well,
if
like
you
make it, you mean like make it grittier?
Not necessarily that, but you know what I mean. Like you could change the tone of it. You could change sort of like the pacing, the vibrancy of the show, who you're aiming it towards. like what sort of things you focus on. I feel like if you took a snapshot of, because Doctor Who's been around for such a long time, that aspect of it, like the tone and the way it is, has changed anyway, because there've been multiple directors, multiple producers.
It's changed, but you've got to remember, it is a family audience. There's only so much you can change in one direction or the other. If you change it too much into the child direction, you get the Sarah Jane Adventures. Change it too much the other way, you get Torchwood, where everyone's having sex and swearing all the time. Right.
But also
they've pushed those little changes. In the Capaldi era, swearing became, or at least frequent cursing happened a bit more. You get Missy and she was like, tell him the bitch is back. We've had a bitch be said in the universe, Like, at some point, people swear to God they've heard a shit. And I just do it, I was like, well, it's mumbling. It's almost like that guy in Home Alone is like, you fucking shit. And I was like, you can hear a shit, admittedly, but it's not focused on, Like, they've done little things here and there.
Yeah. I think the other thing is that maybe, I don't know, maybe just from a director's point of view or a writer's point of view, it's probably much easier to navigate a fantasy route than it is to completely change the undertone of an episode.
Even then, they're adding fantasy, but it's not as if adding fantasy subtracts sci-fi. Like the sci-fi, the core sci-fi elements are still there.
I think it depends on the viewer, doesn't it? I feel like some viewers could very much be like, that doesn't make any scientific sense. There's no scientific explanation for that.
Doctor Who is always, it's never made sense. It gives Doctor Who is built more on
logic
than reasoning. Yeah, exactly. Like none of it's accurate. Like you think the one of the most sci-fi things in this episode, hilariously, is the idea of that glove. The intelligent glove, where it takes all of your mass and gravity and all that stuff, and it locks it into your hand.
Yeah.
I mean, it's that logically you're like, well, yeah, that makes sense. Does it scientifically? I don't know. Probably not. It'd probably whip your hand off. You'll probably just fly through the air. As a stump.
Also, it kind of plays on that logic with later on in the episode. Instead of displacing all of your weight onto the glove, it displaces the weight of whatever the glove's holding onto it.
Yeah.
Which is how he's able to bring the ship down.
Yeah.
So I think it, even though there's some elements that aren't so, that don't make sense, it makes sense to some extent.
For example, one little logic gap the show's always had. So they say that the TARDIS is trapped as a police box because the chameleon circuit broke. It's locked in the shape of a police box. Then how comes that police box has changed? The police box looks different from era to era. But how? The chameleon circuit's busted. It should look at one specific police box forever, but it doesn't. How does that doesn't make any sense, logically. But at the same time, it's like, well, no, sorry, reasonably it doesn't make sense. But logically, you're like, well, it's a police box. It's trapped as a police box. That's all it said. Doesn't matter. Forget about it. Move on.
Yeah.
A lot of the show falls into that sort of logic of, just move on, bruv. Move on. Move on.
Yeah. I definitely got very Jack Sparrow sort of vibes at some point.
Well, let's quickly talk about shooting, because I honestly I love his energy. I like his spunk. I said it during the episode, and I said it ironically, but I mean it. This is the sexiest the Doctor's ever been. He's smooth and suave. He's the sort of Doctor where if you like that scene where he's talking with Ruby's grandparent. Compare that to the scene where 9, Christopher Eccleston, meets Jackie for the first time. There's a bit where, he walks in and she's in her bedroom. She goes, I'm in my dressing gown. Yes, you are. There's a strange man in my bedroom. Yeah, there is. Anything could happen. He's just like, no. And you compare it to this one. So your name's Cherry Sunday. Oh, like a tasty treat. I'll see you later, Cherry. It's like, this Doctor fucks. This Doctor's gonna fuck that woman. He's a sexy Doctor. And Doctors are usually geeky. You compared him to Matt Smith, and Matt Smith was like, ooh, bumbly, He's like fucking... This Doctor's just straight up sexy.
I'm definitely pleasantly surprised with how... I don't know, how the Doctor was in this episode.
Well, he's a more high-profile actor as well. So he's a better actor. He's a better actor than, not saying he's a better actor than David Tennant or the others, but he is
He's more well-known now than they were when they were cast, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I like his meeting with Ruby for the first time, the idea of it, because obviously in the last episode we saw that David Tennant's tortured soul, he stayed with... And this one, he's dropped with her. He's in a club. he's just fucking grooving, mate. You know, like, I like that. The idea of the Doctor in a club, I mean, I reckon he was probably on eckies, you know, ecstasy.
Yeah.
That was definitely, canonically, the first time we've seen people using drugs, because there are definitely some fucking pill heads on there, you know. But yeah, I like that scene a lot. And again, it shows the smoothness. He picks that glass, you know, he catches it. He's like, oh, you know, it's almost flirty, you know, how you know, gin and tonic, health and safety division. You've been having that sort of bad luck a lot, Ruby. And it's like, man, this Doctor, you know, they fuck, you know. What can I say?
Well, I get the impression that he's of the homosexual agenda.
See, that's funny to me too, because obviously there's a line in it where he's like, I had a long, hot summer with Harry Houdini.
Yeah.
Which my aunt pointed out. But I was like, well, David Tennant said the same thing.
Did he?
Yeah, David Tennant, you know, not exactly that, but he was like, you know, he learned handcuffs from Harry Houdini. So it's like, so that long, hot summer with Harry Houdini, that wasn't with Gatwa. That was even before Tennant. Which Doctor do you think was fucking Harry Houdini? Do you think it was Tom Baker with his long scarf? I think it was Billy Harner.
That wasn't canon before. They've just made it canon now.
They've not made it canon. You know what I think it is? I saw this on Twitter and I agree with it. They didn't. You know, he just had a summer, but this Doctor so unbelievably exudes sex that he makes everything sound sexual. Like, oh yeah, I spent a long stormy night with Agatha Christie. We saw what happened. There was a wasp. He's not going to bring that up. He's going to be like, oh, me and Agatha Christie, we go way, way back. And you're going to be like, oh, they fucked, you know. He's just so unbelievably sexual that every line he says is going to be like, yeah, even Harry Houdini fucked. They didn't. And if they did, then the Doctor's always been gay. But yeah, what can I say? I like it. Yeah. It's still the Doctor I like. I wish it was good.
A 6 out of 10.
Yeah, which is pretty much the same I'd rate it. I don't think it's not the weakest of these specials. That's the giggle, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I think I'd rate it slightly. To be fair, I'd rate it around the same as a Star Beast. You know, the first special would beat the Meep, which you haven't seen.
Yeah.
I'd rate it around the same.
Yeah, probably about the same. Yeah.
The giggle's the weakest one. Sorry. Yeah. What would you rate it out of 10?
I'd probably go higher than a 6 out of 10 because I feel like, well, like I've already mentioned, it wasn't gearing towards more of a. It was a feel good episode, and
it's fun.
You know it succeeded. It was fun. It was, you know, goofy, and I enjoyed it. So I'd probably 7.5 out of 10. It was
nice.
But also I don't mind personally it leading into the fantasy as
Which
much.
I don't.
So I actually quite enjoyed it.
And for the audience's benefit, I'll quickly rank it amongst the Christmas specials. I don't know, it's better than some of them. It's pretty mid. I shouldn't have done this. Alright, so I've quickly ranked all the Doctor Who Christmas specials on my phone. So this would be my 6th favourite. It didn't even break into the top 5. But I can go through them all if you want.
Sure.
Okay. So, I should have numbered them actually.
See how many of them I know.
Why didn't I number them? I'm such a fool. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 14. Okay. So, at number 14, we have The Doctor, The Widow and the Wardrobe, which is the Narnia parody. Hate it. Hate everything about it. Number 13, we have The Next Doctor, which is the one where they meet the Governor. He thinks he's the Doctor. At number 12, we've got Doctor Mysterio, which is the superhero parody. There's like brains in jars, and they're like coming into people's heads.
Which Doctor is that?
That's Capaldi, so you probably haven't seen it.
I don't think I would have seen that, no.
At number 11, we've got The Christmas Invasion, Tennant's first episode, where he's asleep for all of it.
Yeah.
Which is the weirdest introduction to a Doctor still. He's just asleep for an entire episode. Then at the end, he's like, I've had some tea. I'm going to sword fight and cut off my hand. Yeah. Then we get The Snowmen. Pretty mid. It's fine. Victorian.
The Snowman, is that another piece of Capaldi one?
No, that's Matt Smith. It's when he meets
Matt Smith,
meets Victorian Clara, and we have Richard E. Grant in it, and The Great Intelligence with Ian McKellen voicing him.
Is there a Christmas special where there's like it's like a World War II, and there's like masks over the children, like gas masks?
Oh, it's not a Christmas special, but that is an episode.
Okay.
The Empty Child.
Yeah.
That was Moffat's first episode, and then he went on to write, The Go in the Fireplace and Blink. But yeah, and then at number 9 we have Last Christmas, another Capaldi one, which is the one with the dream crabs. They're face huggers, and then you're trapped in a dream and it's eating your brain. Blah blah blah. And number 8, pretty much, slap bang in the middle, we have The End of Time, which is the one where Tennant regenerates with the Master.
Yeah.
It's pretty mid. It's fine. I think it's the weakest of the regeneration specials. I'll say that. There's a lot of fun to be had, but yeah, it's pretty mid. Then we got another regeneration special. We got Time of the Doctor, which is Matt Smith's last one. He goes to the town of Christmas where no one can lie. He's trapped in Trenzalore. He turns into an old man. He's like, I'm old. I've been here 3,000 years.
I'm old, Matt Smith.
I'm old, Matt Smith. Where are you, Clara? I'm old, Yeah. Then at number 6, we would have this one, The Church of Ruby Rose. So it's not mid, it's slightly above mid. There's only 14 of them and it's 6. It has potential.
I feel like it earns points for being so unique.
Yeah, and it's still not as unique. It's still not as unique. Oh my god. What is it? It is unique.
No, unique.
Unique. Oh my god.
What? You lost your mind.
Did I just have a stroke?
You might, yeah.
Right, yeah, unique. It's not as unique as these other ones, but it's still pretty fun. Yeah, I don't know what happened there.
And the worst part of that is that you said, no, it is New Yeek.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
Holy shit, Bradley.
Jesus. I'm not even drunk. But yeah, at number 5, we've got The Runaway Bride, Donna's introduction, The Spiders, apparently with Christopher Eccleston, according to Hector's weird brain, but it's not.
Yeah.
And then at number 4, we've got Twice Upon a Time, which is where Capaldi meets the first Doctor and he regenerates and they find the glass people, whatever. I don't know. I'm underselling it. It's actually a really good episode. I don't know why I'm talking about it like this. At number 3, Husbands of River Song. Just a lot, again, really, really fun. Just a straight up comedy. And Peter Capaldi and Alex Kingston, who plays with her, have great chemistry. It's a shame that was their only episode together. And number 2, we have Voyage of the Damned, the Titanic one. I think it's really, really solid. It really is. You get the Doctor at arguably his most action heroic. Is going for a ship, saving people, fighting.
And my name.
Yeah, exactly. He has the whole speech.
What's his name?
What? Oh, my name is Max.
That's it. Yeah.
He's going to. Yeah,
it's Max.
Yeah, so that's number 2, and at number 1, it is A Christmas Carol. It's just quintessential. I'm upset I didn't rewatch it this year because it is. It's a fantastic. Not only is it a fantastic Christmas special, but it's just so quintessential Doctor Who. You want to lean into the sci-fi, having him, affected the life of Scrooge by going back in time and trying to give him good Christmases. It's such a neat little concept.
Which Doctor is that?
That's Matt Smith's first one. So Amy and Rory are on a honeymoon and they're trapped on a ship that's trapped in a atmosphere, and the Scrooge of this one, the Scrooge of this episode, he has the ability to control a machine that controls the weather. So he could open up the clouds and let them land.
Yeah, I think I vaguely remember this.
But he's not going to. He keeps the clouds shut because he hates Christmas. And he actually says that. He's like, I despise Christmas. And he's like, well, you're letting 400 people die. Yeah. That's a bit of an overreaction, guy. So yeah, so the Doctor's like, okay, the only way to do it is to fuck with his timeline and just give him the best Christmases ever. And then he falls in love with a girl who's dying. And the Doctor's like, oh no, I actually destroyed this man's love of Christmas because he spent every Christmas with the love of his life. Now she's going to die. And then they freeze her because she gets frozen every year because she's so sick. And then on that last Christmas, he's old and he hates Christmas, and she unfreezes herself and she's like, well, this will be our last. I love you, old man. Open the clouds. Just look out. What are you doing?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. I do distinctly remember that. Not distinctly, but yeah.
And there's also something to do with floating fish and a giant shark. I don't know why. It's just fun. It's a fun bit of flavour, But that's Moffat. Moffat, he had a really good first Christmas special, and all the other ones after that were questionable. But he peaked with that first special. He really did. Just quintessential Christmas. Right after that was Narnia. We had the best followed by the worst. Mm-hmm. And that was Whiplash.
And speaking of the best, one episode of Doctor Who I really enjoyed was Blink. With the Angels.
And Carrie Mulligan, Sally Sparrow, which is a great name.
Which I feel like is one of the more scary Doctor Who episodes.
It is. I personally, I was going to say one, but I actually have 2 problems with Blink. And none of them are the episode's fault, which is funny. The episode Blank as standalone is brilliant. My problems are this. One, if that was the only episode the Weeping Angels were ever in, they'd be amazing. But they get watered down and recycled and dragged through the dirt with each appearance. Like in the first episode of In Blank, you get the idea that, they're quantum locked. They don't exist when they're being observed, and they're so fast and all that shit. And it is in the head as a kid. It's like, oh my god, what do these creatures even look like? They just pretend to be statues, and they're so fast. How do they do it? And then we get them in the Time of Angels in the very next, 2 seasons later, and it's like, oh no, they are angels. They're not even turning into stuff. They're just stone angels, and that's just how they look from now on. And now they can speak. And instead of sending you back in time, they're just breaking your necks. Yeah. And then it's like, okay, who cares? And then the next episode is like, oh, fucking, it's the Statue of Liberty. It makes no sense. Everyone always is looking at the Statue of Liberty. There's not a single second in America, in my opinion, in New York, where someone isn't able to see. You can see it through windows. Like, how did that angel get there? If that was the only appearance, it'd be incredible still. Second problem. Everyone's always going on about, oh, it's the best episode of Doctor Who ever. If you want to introduce someone to Doctor Who, show them Blank. Do not show them Blank. What? Are you high? That's a good introduction to Doctor Who. The one episode where the Doctor's barely in it. Yeah, you get no time travel elements.
Yeah.
Show them Blank if they just want to watch a horror movie. If they just want a little bit of a scare and they love Doctor Who. Don't do it as an introduction. Imagine watching Blank and being like, wow. You know what I'd be thinking? If I just watched Blank as an introduction, I'd be like, wow, I want to see the continued adventures of Sally Sparrow. What do you mean the show's about the Doctor? Yeah. Who the fuck was that? Doctor Who, I'd say.
Okay, well that actually brings it a good question. What is the best episode to introduce someone to Doctor Who with?
Ooh. It's always going to be an episode that begins an era. So Rose, really great one. We get Christopher Eccleston, we see it through her eyes. On the opposite spectrum, the 11th Hour, Matt Smith's first episode, is great. We get a fresh-faced young Doctor, and he's already peaking.
Yeah, I think I was introduced.
Yeah.
I was introduced with Christopher Eccleston.
Yeah.
And Rose.
Yeah, which is
mean, prior to that, when I was really young, I remember seeing the classic Doctor Who movies, there was the black and white one, and then there was a couple coloured ones.
Yeah, but Pete Cushing.
Yeah. But aside from those, basically my introduction was Christopher Eccleston.
Yeah.
And
in terms of classic Who, best introduction episodes would be An Unearthly Child. I think Robot would be a really good one. I want to say, you won't know this, I want to say Spearhead to Space. The Power of Kroll is the worst. I guess, no, not Cash to Falva, but maybe Forward to Doomsday, which is going to be an odd choice because it's a bit of a shit episode, but at least it's formulaic, which you kind of want. That's the thing with an introduction episode. You don't want it to be too out there. Peter Capaldi's first episode has him go to Victorian London, talk to a dinosaur, and there's a fine house. And it's like, well, no, you're going to get the wrong idea of the show if you watch this episode for the first time. That's why I said the beginning of an era and not a Doctor.
Yeah.
Chris Chibnall, like it or not, his first episode for Jodie was great. And it actually would have been a really good jumping off point. And it was for a lot of people. This episode's not that good of a jumping off point, but it didn't need to be. This isn't it is a new era beginning, but it's a new era part 2. We've had Russell's era before. He already wrote the best introduction, which is Rose. And I think he knows that. I honestly do. I think that's clouded his judgment a bit. He's not coming from it with fresh eyes. He did it with Tennant. Why else bring Tennant back? He's like, no, I'm replaying the hits and then I'm going to get into new stuff. Okay, but you've ignored the new of the new stuff. You're just continuing stuff.
Yeah, I think it just segues into it quite.
Yeah. Which I don't know. But yeah, I'd say, honestly, it's either Rose or the 11th Hour for me. The 11th Hour is such a good fucking... honestly, it couldn't have been more perfect too, because obviously David Tennant was the most popular Doctor, to the point that when it was announced he was leaving, the BBC were like, so maybe we should cancel Doctor Who, right? And the guys were like, no, what you do? No, the whole point of the show is it renews. And the BBC were like, I don't know if it's ever going to get as good. And Watchmen was like, at least give me a chance. Give me a fucking chance. And then we get that episode. Because even as a kid, I was like, I really like David Tennant. He's not even in my top 3 now. I've grown up. Even the 14th is better than the 10th now.
Jesus.
But I was like, I really love the 10th Doctor. Oh, I'm scared. And then I watched that episode. In 1 hour, I was like, I love this guy. This is my guy. This is my guy. And that's it. Honestly, it needed to do that. Capaldi's didn't do that. Deep Breath, his first episode, had the opposite. I was like, oh, I'm really missing Smith right now. This is weird. It took me an entire season. Capaldi's my favourite Doctor. I hate his first season.
I remember watching the first episode with Capaldi, and I think the main thing that threw me off was that he was so much older.
See, that didn't bother me. What threw me off was that, and it's again, it happens. It's the idea of the character, but it was how much his personality changed. Even then, we hadn't really seen that before. Smith is very personal, and so is Tennant. They're both very human doctors.
Yeah.
It was the very sudden personality shift. And for that whole season, and I hate his first season, but there is some bangers in there. Listen is brilliant. Mummy on the Orient Express is brilliant. That's it, actually. Yeah, they're the only two bangers. But then season 9 comes around and he has suddenly become a bit more human. He's still very alien, but he's human in that alienness. Unlike his first season where he's just like, oh, I hate hugs. You can never see the other person. It's just a way of hiding your face. It's like, this does nothing for me. Just hug the woman, Doctor. What are you fucking doing? Yeah, I don't know. I think Deep Breath is a terrible first choice, which is a shame. But The Magician's Apprentice... it's also a terrible first choice, actually. The pilot's a good choice.
Started from the very first one back in the 1960s.
The first episode of his final season is actually a really great one because it was a soft reboot to the point where they actually called it the pilot. It was a soft reboot. So, yeah, season 10, episode 1, ironically, is a great jumping on point. Season 10, you know. But yeah, I don't know. It's hard. Don't start from the beginning. Only start from the first one, An Unearthly Child, if you're really already a fan. Because man, I don't know how it didn't get cancelled immediately. An Unearthly Child is shit. It's terrible. The first episode, it's a 4-part story. The first one is great. It's like, wow, who is this guy? He's an old man. Oh, these teachers. Oh, that girl. Oh, he's kidnapped the teacher. Whoa! And then it's 3 episodes of them fucking about with cavemen. Oh, I'm teaching Ugg fire. I'm going to kill Grug with a stone. It's like, what the fuck is this? This was it? And then it moves on to the Daleks. It's like, okay, thank God. Should have been cancelled before then. I would have cancelled it immediately. But then it moves on to the Daleks and like, okay, thank God it had the Daleks immediately. Imagine if it was just a second one of that. There was just more cavemen. 8 episodes of cavemen.
That's Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Cavemen. That's it.
Dude, people think the Daleks are like the Doctor's oldest enemy. No, the Doctor's oldest enemy is Ugg, son of Ker from the year 400,000 BC. His first enemies were cavemen.
Yeah.
You know? Don't start An Unearthly Child unless you're already dedicated, is all I can say. Yeah. But I do think that's it.
I think so, yeah.
20 little bits. No, you got any little bits? So.
I already did my bit.
You did do a bit. I did a bit. You need to do a bit.
I need to do a bit.
As in like a joke bit.
I know.
You might not have.
No, I might not have.
Yeah. You're an idiot, you know.
I got nothing.
Okay.
I did come up with a really, really good idea for a bit.
Well, yeah.
I think I already,
don't know why I said that.
I think I already did this bit.
Okay.
Not the bit that I'm talking about, but this bit that I'm doing now. I think I already did this before because it was
when
I was
bit?
like, no, this isn't the bit. But I did.
Oh my god, the bitception is insane.
This bit that I'm doing now, this isn't a comedic bit, but this bit where I'm talking about remembering a bit.
Yeah.
I've already done that bit.
You have done that bit, but is this a repeat of the bit?
No, this isn't a repeat of the bit. I'm just saying.
Yeah, he's making a new bit.
I came up with a really good idea for a bit, and I, for the life of me, can't.
You've got to start writing down these bits.
I do, yeah. It was such a good idea, and I was like, holy shit, I'm going to do that in the podcast. It's going to be fucking hilarious. And I forgot about it. I completely forgot about it. And then when we started doing the podcast, I was like, holy shit, man, that's so sad. I had such a good idea for a bit. Can't remember what it was, but I remember thinking.
Do you know what was a hilarious bit? The Key and Peele that we were watching where he just stuffs the marbles into his mouth.
Yeah, but we can't exactly do that on an audio podcast.
Oh, yeah. No, I was just...
We could talk about a bit. As in, like, we came up with a bit that we want to do as a sketch show when we're on the bus. Where it's a homeless man gets on the bus and he just forces his way on. He's like, I'm the bus inspector. I'm going to inspect the bus. And then he just goes and lays on the back seat and just falls asleep. every time someone tries to force him off the bus, he's just up and he's like, I'm the bus inspector. And then at the end, it turns out he is, because he gets kicked off the bus and the bus driver gets fired. You know?
Yeah, I like that. That's
but we can't really do that as an audio bit, so I guess this is it. Yeah, that's the end.
Yeah.
Welcome to season 3, episode 1.
Welcome.
Yeah. Thank you for
that's
listening.
not welcome, but goodbye.
Goodbye.
Episode.
Well, yeah. Welcome to season 3, baby.
Yeah.
Alright. Peace out.
Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.
Mwah.